And welcome to our first Stay Brown podcast show. We're your hosts, Carlos and Ben. How you doing today, my brother?
Not doing too bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Excited about this new podcast we got going on
Man,
here.
yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited about this podcast and spreading the gospel of the Brown Beret, the national movements, and what's going on with the movement, what's going on with other berets and organizations, and yeah, looking forward to this podcast and getting information out.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I know I kind of posted it out there in the social media, but didn't elaborate on what it was. So they had to tune in to find out. So I see we already got some people
Keep
tuned in already.
keep them on their toes.
Right.
Hey, keeping us on our toes because we're you got the experience, I don't, but you know what, it's going to be a good thing. We're just gonna uh just elaborate on what we know and what people want to hear and what we know, share our knowledge. Is knowledge is power.
Right, right. So
So
the name Stay Brown, where did that come from?
that originated from our San Diego chapter, Brown Beret National Organization down there in San Diego with Eddie Calleos. They had a really good group of kids. And State Brown is something that no coconuts. You know what I'm saying? We got those coconuts. We got those people that are brown but they're white on the inside, and they got to understand that even they're white on the inside, and that's fine, but they're still subject to walking in both worlds like we do. So it started in San Diego. We started off with a pamphlet. It gave out information about what we were doing as a national organization, and we're actually looking forward to bringing that back.
Right. It was a magazine too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a pamphlet. It had maybe like 10 to 15 pages with pictures and information to get your vaccine shots back in the day when COVID was out, how to join the Brown Berets or the Brown Beret National Organization. Give out some good information about what we did in the community, what we were going about to do in the communities, how you can help, how you can be a part of it. So yeah, it was good stuff.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like the name. It's catchy.
yeah,
So
stay brown.
looking forward to all the future episodes that we're going to have on here. I'm very
Yeah.
excited about this. And the future guests we got coming up too. Wow, I'm not going to say no names, but we already got some good guests coming up.
Yeah, we got a
Even-
pretty good lineup for next week.
Yeah, yeah, I can't
So
wait. So we'll see what happens. So the Brown Berets, this organization started in 67, correct?
yep, 1967 in East LA. And it started with we went out and helped out with the high school walkouts in East LA. There were four high schools, and I'm not going to mention them because I want people to put it in the chat line, get involved, and put down with the high schools and what they think. But there was four major high schools. Ruben Salazar had a lot to do with it. But that was the birth of the Brown Berets, and actually, it's a funny story how the Brown Berets got their name. Um, After the protest of the high school walkouts, the sheriff's department used to say, "Hey, there goes those kids with the Brown Berets," and that's how the Brown Berets got their names, by the damn sheriff department.
Wow.
So
Interesting fun
interesting.
fact there,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. We I so a lot of the history of the Brown Beret. I When I first became a Brown Beret in 2011, um, I'm the kind of person that likes to investigate. I like to figure out what I'm getting myself into,
Hmm.
and so I did a lot of research. Not only did I do research, I did a lot of interviews with certain people, quite a few different people, and got a lot of good information. And I knew this was something that I wanted to do. But I've been a Brown Beret since 2011 when I met Eddie Gallegos. I met Hieronimo Blanco, who was the national commander then. I remember the day that I got sworn in. And I've been in this organization since 2011, an active member.
Wow.
Um,
Wow, that's great. So just for the people out there that are watching, like Brianna, Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say you can leave a comment and we'll see it posted up. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
So anyway, 67 is when they were the organization was formed, but were they doing anything before 67 or it just all
No,
happened in 67?
it all happened in 67 from the information that I gathered. They started off in a coffee shop. There was 7 original founding members. I believe only one still living. Um, I may be wrong, but I believe there's only one still living. Uh, they went from the high school walkouts, and they started doing protests all the way until '69 when they did what is now called the Chicano movement or the Chicano moratorium. Excuse me. We spearheaded that march, and that was a protest march against the war in Vietnam. Uh, I believe it was like 7% of Chicanos going to the Vietnam War, and we still had the highest rate of fatalities. So there, in my opinion, it was kind of a way to control the population of the brown people.
Mhm.
So they went to the streets, took it to the streets. You know,
Wow. I
yeah,
know we got some pictures, huh?
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if
We
you
got
wanted
some pictures.
I don't know if you wanted to show them now or later, but
Yeah, you can. Carlos Montes. He does the Chicano moratorium in East LA. I've talked to him a few times, and his story is if I remember correctly, he was the one who threw the first rock that started
oh no,
the whole you know the whole deal down there
that's right.
in East LA. And I thought that was funny because he shares that story quite often every time I see him or somebody asks.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was quite an experience. I think you know somebody who was there as well. That
Yeah, actually, a neighbor city over here in Northern California, in Stockton. His name is Mr. Richard Soto.
mm,
He actually has the biggest, and I can say this safely. Uh, he has the biggest Chicano library anywhere. Anywhere. It's a 3-story building, and each
wow,
floor. I got to get him on the show. We got to get him on the show. Each
yeah,
floor is
sounds
just
like it.
packed with books. Not only that, he just received, when I last talked to him, he had 6 files, uh, case files, and now he has 95 case files of the FBI investigation on the Brown Berets back in the 70s and
How
early
many?
80s. And he said 95 files now, 95
Wow.
boxes of files of the FBI investigating the Brown Berets. So I mean, man, the guy's got he has books he tells me that the Library of Congress doesn't even have, and they're always calling him. They'll call him and say if wants to donate him. He's like, no.
Yeah,
So you
yeah. Hold
know,
on to those.
so Mr. Soto was also a Brown Beret back in those days too. And for those that don't know, he's the picture was one that it's before social media was a thing. His picture went viral because the police had shot a Chicano student, and he's a combat medic, so he instinctively ran over there and was in and chased not or sorry not chased. He ran over there and was trying to work on the guy, as the guy's dying, and then the cop came up behind him and pointed the shotgun to him and told him to let him die. So, well, I'm
That
sorry.
was a
Let me
crazy.
catch up on these
Was
comments.
that was a crazy time.
Yeah, yeah, it was. So the picture, um, he's holding the man as he's like right when he died, and the journalist took the picture, and it's him holding the man dead in his arms, and the cops are behind him with shotguns.
Yeah, I think
So
I've seen that picture. I want to say I've seen that picture somewhere.
yeah, it's not right. He has his original uniform, the Brown Beret uniform still. It's in glass. Um, So if we take a trip down to Stockton, I'll let
Mhm.
him know. He'd love to meet you guys. I
Yeah,
know
and
Brianna.
people need to understand this was in 1969. This is when I want to say segregation was still a thing. Like, there was police brutality against people of color. That was like on the daily. That was like the norm back then.
It was.
Um, I mean, and it's crazy that we kind of see that now still. You know,
It
um,
is.
and that's why the Brown Beret, the movement, the Chicano movement, is even more necessary, uh, more than ever because of those, of our human rights, just human rights, being violated.
Right.
So
Right. So there was a rumor, and I know, I don't know, a lot of the old brown books and all that kind of clarify this, but they were saying that during the '90s that the brown berets kind of like disappeared. What are your thoughts on that? They've always been there, or
they've been there. So I do know part of the history of looking into, you know, the Brown Berets. In 1972, I won't mention the guy's name because he'll probably want some royalties. But
I know.
in 1972, he denounced the Brown Berets. He disbanded the Brown Berets, and at that time, uh, in 72, there was only one Brown Beret group, and that was the Brown Beret National Organization. It went on a national level after 69 during the protest for the Vietnam War. And there was only one, there was only us. That's it. We were Nate on a national level. And I believe, doing some research and talking to people, I don't believe that the founders and the people that were involved with the Brown Berets at the time were not expecting this to go viral. The
Right.
movement, the Chicano movement, to go viral as big as it did, because some of the things that I found out, it just, to me, it just didn't sound like they planned ahead for this to be just to blow up.
Right.
Um, so in 72, they disbanded. They publicly disbanded, denounced the Brown Berets. And at that time, they didn't have internet or anything like that. It was a phone call. It wasn't televised or anything like that. So a lot of people said, "Nah, Charlie, we need this movement. We need it," and they continued on. Uh, Maybe not as aggressive, but they continued on. Other groups started to form, autonomous. Other different organizations. I want to say in 1979, the same founder who founded the BBNO founded NBB. I want to say it was 78 to 79, somewhere right in there. He founded the NBB. He started getting the Brown Berets again, trying to get it back up, up to what it used to be. But by that time, people were already doing their thing, and they didn't want to be a part of something. They were the main person,
Right.
of the head, the leader, whatever you want to call it, and they didn't want to, join somebody else. They were doing their thing, which is fine. They're doing their thing. They're still working for the community, working for the people, doing things in the community. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where, there was a part of the history where really nobody was doing anything. Um, I'm not sure. I can't say. I don't remember what year it is when we really came back. I know when I joined in 2011, it was already in full swing once again. You know,
Right.
um, and I remember the day. Um, my father, who was a Brown Beret, BBNO for, he was a captain in the Imperial Valley unit, in 72. He marched with Cesar Chavez on a few occasions there in Imperial Valley for the farmers down there. My dad and I were having breakfast one day, and as a little kid, I remember my dad having his meetings. I remember running around with his beret on. I remember, certain things. And one day we were just sitting we're having breakfast, and we were in that. I don't know, remember how that subject came up, but it came up, and I go, hold up, let me look it up on my phone. And I looked up BBNO, and I found a website, and I go, Dad, they're still around. And my dad's like, yeah, I'm sure they're still around. And I was looking at the website. And I go, hey, look, we can apply.
Hmm.
So I applied. My dad said, well, go ahead and apply. You apply first, and if everything is cool, because my dad's old school. He was old school. He didn't trust the internet or anything like that. So I went ahead and
Right.
applied, and I got a hold of this guy from Texas, and I don't remember his name now, but he was a lawyer. He was with BB&O, and he had the website. And so finally, I got a hold of that guy, and I says, "Hey, I put in an application. Uh, how does it work?" And he goes, "Where do you live?" I told him where I live, and he says, "Let me get you in contact with the closest person," and that was Eddie. That was Eddie, and I contact Eddie, and that was in 2011, and I remember him taking me to Hidano Blanco's house, swore me in there. Well, this
Right.
is like about a month or two down the road. It wasn't just all of a sudden, but it was about a month or two down the road, and I've been working with Eddie since 2011. Him and I've been working together, doing different things. Uh, I want to say it was in 2015. We took
Mhm.
my dad to Chicano Park in San Diego, and I had the honor to swear him back in
Oh
into the
wow.
organization. And even though his health was deteriorating still at that time, he did what he could. But he was an elder. He did what he could, but I had the honor to swear him back in, which was one of the highlights of my life, to follow into his footsteps as he did in 1972, marching with Cesar Chavez, not just on one occasion, on two occasions, and also he was his private security guards. Like when they were marching, my dad would tell me him and his unit would go to a supermarket and make
Hmm.
sure it was all clear. If they went into a restaurant, they would walk in and make sure the bathroom was clear. Because there was hits on his life. There was death threats on Caesar's life. So they did some security for him, which was, I remember the stories him telling me. Um, but yeah, it was 2011, and I haven't looked back since. So,
Right. Wow. So to
so
backtrack a little bit, I know I mentioned a book called the Brown Book. Just wanted to show I got a
yeah,
copy here, and I know someone's going to be like, Brown Book. Let's step back a little bit here.
yeah.
What's the Brown Book about?
you know, and this is one of the things that I'll backtrack. Like when I said that I don't believe the founders or very many people thought this movement would blow up. There wasn't really any uh, rules or anything like that. So the Brown Book basically is our Constitution. It's our Bible. It's our bylaws. It tells us how we can conduct ourselves, how we can't conduct ourselves. It tells us, um, you know, uh, the structure of the BBNO, the chain of command. It tells us our oath. Our oath is in there. Um, so everything about us, about being a brown beret and how to conduct yourself in public and not public, how to hold meetings, it teaches you how to organize. It teaches you how to be out protesting. It teaches you how to be safe. And they're just guidelines to our organization, and we make sure that every person that wants to be part of our organization gets a handbook, and they go over it, and then we have an officer go over it with them, make sure they understand it, and then from there we go on to the next process. It is a process to be a brown beret in our organization, only because we've learned from our past that sometimes not everyone is cut out to be who they say they are.
That's right.
Right. So
That's right. So the Browns Berets were formed in '67. Did they get some help from an organization to help them get started? I heard about the Black Panthers.
well, they really didn't get any help from them. But we modeled them, if that makes sense.
Right.
We collaborate with them. We kind of saw how they move, how they work, and we wear our berets because of Chevera. Um, he wore a beret, so we wore our berets because of that. That not has nothing to do with the Black Panthers, but kind of our structure, our militant theology, we kind of piggybacked off of that. But
Right.
we're our own. It was a model. It was a base model to build from.
We still march with them to this day, though,
Oh,
right?
we still stand in unity with them. Yeah, those. I mean, the Black Panthers and the Brown Berets have been, we march hand in hand. We support each other. We're there for each other. It's just the way it's been since day one. So
Right.
yeah, we have good relations with them.
Right. Right. And that's an important thing too. A lot of people think, oh, the everything this is all separated and all that. No,
No,
it's not a
no, we're not.
separation.
No, we work with them. They work with us. We go out to sometimes we go out to some of their events. They come to our events. You know, it's we have the same ideology. We have the same outlook. I mean, both people of color are being harassed, being violated, being missing. Pretty much going through the same thing. I mean, maybe they just might be a little darker shader than us, but they're going through the same thing as we go through.
Right.
You know.
Right. And just a little history. Um, before the Brown Berets, before the Black Panthers, it's been black and brown as far back
Mm,
as slavery has happened in Mexico. Was outlawed, the slavery, and they even went as far as if they captured the Spaniards coming through Mexico, they would kill the Spaniards and they
mhm.
would free. I don't call them slaves. They were prisoners. So
Yeah,
they
prisoners.
would free the prisoners and let them stay in Mexico, and that's where my great grandfather stayed. He came from Africa and lived in Mexico and married an Apache woman. And I mean, it's so neat to to do your history, your genealogy. I actually have his and his wife's signature on a census. So I mean, I got a lot of paperwork on my family, and I thought that was interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
That the black and brown community, and it's very there's parts of Mexico where it's a lot of African descent
Yep.
in those parts, and they're speaking fluent Spanish better than me.
Yeah. Better than me. That's why the war, the Mexican and American War started was over slavery in the state of Texas.
Right,
The government, Mexico said, you gringos can come in here and farm, but there is no slavery.
right,
And they had slavery. So that's basically why the Mexican American War started, was over slavery. And I want to say Mexico abolished slavery 30 years before the United States did.
right.
So it was some time, and runaway slaves, they knew they could run to Mexico and be safe.
And Mexico had a black president too
Yeah,
before.
they did. Yeah,
Yeah,
they did. And there are down there in the Gulf, I don't know what cities they are, but there are some towns there where you go there and you can tell they're black.
yeah,
They have that African and the African look, but they're mixed with the Mexican people there.
right, right.
So yeah, yeah.
So for the viewers out there, I feel like it's important to know what's going on in the world right now, but I also feel
Yeah.
that our history is as important to know as well too, and with this podcast I feel that we'll be doing both, you know history lessons, news, or whatever's going on, so I feel that, I don't know, is that'd be cool with you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like, there's no other better way to get, the news out there. A podcast is perfect. Viewer interaction, perfect.
Right,
Because I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything.
right, right,
The internet don't claim to know. They don't know everything. They know a lot, but there's a lot of pieces missing. Just like in history, in the schools, there's a lot of pieces missing when they teach you about the history of the United States. It's ugly.
yeah,
Ain't nothing pretty about the history of the United States here.
no,
It's ugly. So yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I
But
feel like what the school teaches, like about Christopher Columbus discovering America, and all, it was already discovered.
yeah,
He it's something that we learned as a kid, and we didn't know better. We are like, ooh, but no, he got lost. He thought
yeah,
he was in India.
hmm,
That's where the name Indians came from. He thought
yeah,
we were from India, and if you do your history about him, their king over there, or he didn't want to give them a boat at first. He didn't want to give them a boat. He begged for a while. So I
Mm.
mean, what does that tell you?
Yeah, I mean, and if you look, if you get down and dirty with it too, he introduced a lot of the sex slavery stuff.
Right.
He was getting the native girls and boys, and he was selling them to the people on the ship. You know, they brought over this
They do.
statue of a blonde, hair, blue-eyed white Jesus, and saying this is our God, which is a total false representation.
You're right.
I was looking at this article the other day about the Bible, and they're saying that not one person in the Bible is white. You know how many
Right.
European Americans that would piss off? They,
Right.
there's not one person in the Bible that's white.
Right.
So
I mean, you go to where Jesus was his area, and tell me you see anybody. I mean, any white, blue eyed out that
nope.
you see.
Yeah. Yeah. They said they're talking about what about the Roman Empire? Well, the Roman Empire, they had Egypt, Africa, Turkey, so they were multicolored people,
Right.
So it's there's a lot of history. It's very interesting. I love history. It's interesting to uh to go back into this. And I'm also like, I like to think of myself as a conspiracy theorist, because there's a lot of blanks in history.
There
What
is.
it there is, and so you got to speculate on some things, and kind of go with the best results of the evidence that you have. So
Yep.
yeah, but yeah.
A lot of good books out there too. I've got a. So one thing about Mr. Richard Soto that he instilled on me is that I need to start a library out here. So
Mm.
I have a ton of books, and then I bought a bunch of them off of him. So I'm starting to read them all because you can't just have them. You got to read them all. So
Yeah,
and
there's
I'm
a
just
book I read by Juan Perez. It's called Through Brown Eyes.
uh
uh I even had the book autographed for him. He's a cat down there, older. He's an elder down there in Texas, and he started a chapter of Brown Berets as well, but they wear the red patch.
okay.
It's the La Causa patch, but it's red.
It's red. Oh,
And
okay.
the red signifies the bloodshed of the people that have lost their lives through the years and stuff. It's actually pretty cool.
Makes
But
sense.
yeah, so it's called Through Brown Eyes by Juan Perez. It's a really good book. I would encourage people to read it. I've read it. I have it. So it's a good book.
Right. Okay. And of course, we'll be mentioning books.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your first one to read. We'll hit you guys up next time with some questions.
Yeah.
Everybody out there. So, what else? ¿Qué más? So we got the Brown Berets back up in action. A lot of stuff's happening now. We're seeing a big surge in people joining with the Brown Berets again right now.
Under the president administration now, I think it's more than ever that people want to, in this day and age too, people always want to exercise their First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, um, the right to a peaceful protest. So right now, yeah, there's so much going on. Um, and there's talk about the sleeping giant. I don't know if you ever heard of that terminology, but I believe the sleeping giant's about to wake up, and once it
Right.
wakes up, it's going to be a huge impact, not just here in the United States, but all across the world, because the way this administration is going, in my opinion anyways, other people have different views about the administration, but it's not, honestly, it's not just about this administration. It's about all the administrations that have come before it.
Right.
It's about the government. For me, that's what it's about. This government is just, man, needs to hit the reset button.
Right.
You know, um,
I'm listening. Somebody just asked a
no,
question.
I know in
Right.
Texas, I found out that for every black vote, it equals one white vote, and every three votes of a Mexican or a Chicano is equal to one white vote. Like, what the hell is going on in this day and age? That's what it is.
Right.
Um, and things haven't changed. The Constitution, still considers people of color people of color 3/5 of a person. We're not even a real human being. So, the
Right.
stuff needs to change. Stuff needs to change. They need to, be fair across, all across the board. But if you really think about it, who made the Constitution? Slave owners.
Right.
So, it was already racist then, and so it's people of color, us people of color, we gotta learn how to walk in two different worlds. We have it pretty rough. The European Americans, they walk in their world, and that's that. But we have to walk in two different worlds. We got to walk in theirs, and then we got to walk in ours. So it's a
Right.
little bit tougher for us. You know.
So we got a question, and I was listening to you, but I got some of the books I bought on here so I could take with me. So
Mm.
this is the question right here. What are some of your best book recommendations? Okay, hold on. So there's one called The Distance Between Us by Reina Grande. That was a really good book. And then Creating a Chicano Red Road to Decolonization and Aslan is another good book. So if I'm going too fast, I'm sorry. I'm gonna just say three. I got a bunch on here, and then of course, for those new, there's a book called Chicano Movement for Beginners by Marco Montoya, and it's Ilan Stavan. So
Mhm.
those are my three recommendations. I got another one in my car. I'll tell you that one next week. You would get those three books first, and if I went too fast for you, just go back and watch this again to the part where I said those three.
Maybe we could post it on our Instagram. Yeah. Speaking of that, follow us. Stay Brown Podcast. Was it Stay Brown Podcast on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
there
Oh
it
yeah.
is.
What is it? Stay underscore Brown underscore podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, and oh
Yeah,
yeah, you're welcome. They're saying thank you for having this podcast. What is that? My sister is reading it now, and then I'm next. So, any other book ideas? that wasn't enough.
I know. Huh? I could barely read. Jeez.
It really depends on what you. There's Chicano poetry. I mean, it's beautiful. I have one. If you could talk for 20 seconds, and let me go grab the book so I can. I'm gonna close this real quick, but just talk for
Okay.
20 seconds.
Yeah. Just probably be a good time to bring up now. If anyone is interested in joining the movement, the Brown Beret National Organization, the original Brown Berets, established in 1967. Hit us up on the Stay Brown podcast. Hit us up on Facebook. Hit us up at lacausa68@gmail.com, and we'll get you plugged into a chapter. But like I said, it's not something you do overnight. There's a process, application, there's a background check.
Yeah.
Then you get a brown book, and then from there we make sure we go over the brown. So you'll be walking hand in hand with somebody, uh, all the way up in your time till we get sworn in into the Brown Beret National Organization. So look us up. I'm sure at the end of the show, Carlos will post up something on how to reach us and how to contact us.
Right.
If not, I'm just throwing him under the bus.
Yeah. He did it already. So anyway, those who know me know I suffer from anxiety really bad, and I don't like movie theaters too much because I feel claustrophobic. But there's this poet I wanted to go meet, and he was ironically in the movie theater. He had rented out. They rented out the whole movie theater, and then he did his poetry there. And I said, you know, what mi vale madre. I said, let's go. I had to go. I had to go, and I had to be a part of that. And his name was Juan Felipe Herrera. And this book right here, every day we get more illegal. Man, I mean, and then he signed it for me too.
Nice.
You know, I mean, I don't want to read his stuff because maybe someday he'll be on the show because I'm
Ooh.
going to reach out to him too, you know. But if you can get this book, every day we get more illegal. His stuff is it's deep. It gets you thinking.
Is that on
Mm.
Amazon?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I grabbed this. He has a bunch of other books too, but that's the one that caught my eye. So I
Hmm.
grabbed that, of course.
I like picture books.
Yeah, and crayons.
Yeah, no, I don't I like reading, but my problem is it might take me 3 months to read a book. Just because I'll lay in bed and I'll read, a couple of pages and put it down. But it's funny for me, the way my brain works is I'll read a couple of pages a night, but there'll be certain things that just stick,
Right,
and then certain times I have to go back, and go, what? Wait a minute, hold up, what was that again? And go back and read it. But yeah, there's only certain things that stick,
right, right.
you
Well,
know.
for those who can read, um, grab a copy. But like how I showed you guys earlier, it's the app is called Audible,
Hmm.
and sometimes I don't like to read, so
Oh
I'll go
yeah.
on Audible, and all these, it reads it for you in the author's voice. Huh.
Can we pick a voice?
You want Snoop Dogg to read it to you,
Yeah,
huh?
well, dude, no, I want, oh my gosh, what's his name? He does all the
You're welcome.
narratives for the animal world and stuff.
You want me to read a short sentence? Don't tease us. Okay, okay. Juan Felipe Herrera, if you're out there, forgive me. I'm gonna read. This one's called. I don't want to read that one. Let me see. This one's called Basho and Mandela. All right. It says, as Basho has said, it is a narrow road to the deep north. As Mandela has said, the haphazard segregation later became a well orchestrated segregation. As Basho has said, the journey began with an attained awareness that at any moment you can become a weather exposed skeleton. Think of us in this manner. These are notes for your nourishment. Hold them as bowls of kindness from journeys of bravery. The will to seek and find the sudden turning rivers and the dawn eyed freedom. I mean, this stuff just,
Oh,
man,
is that a whole page of letters and words?
that's
I
just
could
one
read
of his,
that.
is one of his, I mean, like poetry doesn't have to rhyme.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
just, it makes you think, if anything, especially this man, you know. And like I said, he's got one called Leap. I'll let you guys read that one
Mm.
when you buy the book.
Yeah, when you buy the book.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So anyway, yeah, I mean his stuff is good. And then next week, there's one that I'm reading that one I have to read because I'm like intrigued by it, and I'm still stuck on the first chapter because it 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 talks about Aslan, and it has a bunch of essays, on the theory of Aslan, and that's where I'm getting ahead of myself here. I wanted to say this for next week, but so I have a shirt with the name, it says Caliph Aslan on it, and what happened is our people come, the story goes that our people come from Aslan, but since nobody knows where Aslan or originated from, uh, the first chapter of that book, one of them says that wherever you are that you call home is Aslan for you.
Mm.
So for me, I live in California, so of course I put Caliph Aslan. So, but I tell people, I'm glad I didn't live in Mississippi. I wouldn't even know how to. I wouldn't know what
Yeah.
the how to say it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
Mrs.
Mrs. Mrs. Lan, Mrs. I don't see. I
Tongue
don't know.
twister.
Yeah, Khalif Aslan. I saw it and I was like, "Ooh, yeah," and that had a really deep meaning for me. So um,
Mm.
there's a lot of theories, and where a lot of people say Utah, but then if you do your study, a lot of people say China.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I heard Utah or Colorado, but mostly Utah been thrown around a lot. As a matter of fact, they found a lot of different artifacts, Mayan or Aztec artifacts and right paintings or something like that, not too long ago, if I remember
right,
right. So I think it's probably just starting in, but I know we are in Aztlan, the nation of Aztlan. I know
right,
that. Just don't know exactly where it is, but I know we're in it. So
yeah, it's deep.
so
I mean,
how'd you get into Brown Berets, Carlos? What got you here? Who got you into this?
wow, God, I've been a brown beret for over 15 years now.
Okay.
I bumped into it, and I just saw it. I did my research, and I found a local general in my area, and hit him up, and we just been working. Was working with him, and then uh, some unmentionable happened. So ended up going over to with your group.
Mm.
So I mean, yeah, I just been active, but my contribution to the brown beret more is more getting the exposure out there with the media.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and
that
we need
that
that.
mhm,
We need to utilize every tool that we can that we talent um, to get the word out there, let people know we're still around and we're still doing work in the communities and that we're still here. We're still here for the people.
right.
You know, so
But man, I've gone through so much, a lot of rallies and
yeah,
people trying to run us over with trucks, and then they got out of the truck and there was a mob of protesters. Man, they almost got it was crazy.
yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, being new to this because I would love to hear you movement, being a part of the movement. Yep.
Oh, let me see. Oh my goodness. I want to say it was 2013, 2014 at Chicano Park in San Diego. When I was living there, Proud Boys, they tried to go to Chicano Park. And well,
Wow.
let me back this up a little bit. San Diego's, that I'm originally from Oceanside, California.
Hmm.
And I knew a lot of people in San Diego. So make a long story short, I had a friend who was I'm not gonna say he was part of the Proud Boys, but he was kind of like a prospect for them, whatever. Anyways, he would get emails.
Yeah.
They would email. He was in that circle, and he would forward them to me. Um, we found out that the Proud Boys were going to go to Chicano Park and take down the statue. This is the time when they were taking down the Confederate statues and flags all over the United States. They were, people were pulling them down, knocking them down. So they wanted to go to Chicano Park.
Right.
And I was a single father. I had two young boys and two older boys. And my son Jesse, he was in a brown beret then, but he was, he's my ride or die. Anyways, we were there at the park, and I remember the Proud Boys were across the street, and the police were right there. It was funny. The police were right there, like holding them back, as if they were going to do something. And anybody's ever been to
Hold
Chicano
it back.
Park? At Chicano Park, you could not move to the left or the right without bumping into somebody. That's how many people were in Chicano Park protecting the park. The Brown Beret National Organization, we were there. I remember getting there, and we had two females there, and I asked them, to take care, to watch my two younger ones. They were probably like 6 and 7, and they took them to the playground, which was kind of like in the heart of the park. So
Hmm.
I felt totally safe that my kids were there. Plus, they had all these other people around the park and this and that, and me and my son Jesse, uh, we went to one of the entrances of the park on the main road, and the Proud Boys were coming down the street, and they were making all kinds of noise and chanting whatever, and everyone started backing off. They started backing off like, whoa, like backing off. And I remember, me coming out there, and I turned around to the people, hold that line, hold it. I was in my uniform, hold the line. And then my son jumped out there, and he walked over to the far right of me. Hey, get back over here. Let's go. Hold the line. And he was out there, and him and I were side by side. Hold the line. And everybody just started. They went back to the where we were at, and we built a wall there of
Oh
people.
wow.
And me and my son, we all locked arms. Everyone that was there, my son was there, and everyone that was there, we all locked arms. We said, "Hold the line, hold the line." My son's yelling, hold the line, don't let these some bitches through." And he's probably like 16. My son's cussing. I'm all like looking at him like, "Hey, motherfucker, watch your mouth." But no, I'm just playing. But he was, he was out there, wow, f you. He was telling those, the Proud Boys, whatever. But that was one of my proudest moments, one of my biggest moments that I remember. Defending Chicano Park, my son being there, helping me hold the line, arm to arm with the community, and we were just backing them off. And the long story short, the Proud Boys end up leaving. They didn't get into Chicano Park. They didn't infiltrate. No one got past any of the lines that the Brown Berets set up, the perimeter around the park. So to this day, Chicano Park's still safe, and Zapata's still there, and the Mexican flag is still flying high.
That's right.
So that was a good day, though. That was one of my um, most memorable moments, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, and remember, I had my other kids in the playground playing,
Oh,
but
get him, Dad.
no, they didn't really know what was going on, which was fine. I didn't want to get the kids involved, but I was a single dad, and it was a call to arms. It was a call, for the community to come out there and support, and we did. We went out there and we supported the community. Me and my son, and he's actually a Brown Beret also up here. So yeah, that was a good moment. That was a proud moment. It was a good memories that him and I had about that day.
Right.
So, that day I couldn't believe that the police officers were,
Didn't do nothing.
man. Well, no, they were escorting the Proud Boys.
Oh yeah.
They were escorting them. They were like protecting them. They were, you know,
They
if
were
they
in
came,
fear of their lives.
if they tried to come across the street, they didn't do nothing. But if we tried to go across the street, oh yeah, they had their clubs out, and they were, trying to bump us. And so we told everyone stay on our side of the street, because there's a main street, and then the Proud Boys were there. The park is here, and so we were just telling everybody, just stay right here on this side of the street on the sidewalk. You know.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a good day. That
Yeah.
was a good day.
Good day. I mean, it's always a good day when no one gets hurt, though. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, some of the Proud Boys, when they went back to their vehicles, I found out later that some of the homeboys in the Vadio, they came across some of the homeboys in the Vadio, and they got touched up. A couple of people got touched up.
Oh
But
no.
it's what happens when you park in the Vadio. Don't park in the Vadio, you dummy.
Yeah.
especially if you're a white supremacist. Don't go to the Vadio and park your car. You
Maybe
know,
take Uber next time.
Uber or something, a taxi cab, man. I
Yeah.
mean, that was pretty dumb if you ask me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Wow. So this was our first episode, you guys. Thank you all.
yeah,
We have people in the chat. Thank you for staying with us this whole time. I'm excited about this. I know a lot of good is going to come out of this, and information, and just it's been a long time coming. and
it definitely has. Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to working with you on the in here and the many guests we're gonna have and you know this is just the beginning. Oh, what do they say? Hold on. Can't wait to learn more. I'm so glad I can watch you. Uh, Thank you for having me. Oh,
Thank you for having us.
thank you. We love
Yeah.
and I'm so excited for this podcast. Thank you both. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
gonna and it's gonna get better. The topics will get better. The energy, for me, this is my first time. Carlos, he's a pro. You can tell. Um,
Nah.
yeah, I was backstage trying to put makeup
No,
on.
I'm kidding.
Trying to,
No, I'm not.
I'll just play it. But
I have
yeah,
another podcast too, so yeah, that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. We'll get some other people on here, and we're gonna keep this rolling. And just once again, this podcast is about educating, promoting. And when I mean promoting, I don't mean just the BBNO, but our the things that we do in the community, such as we got a turkey drive coming up. Um,
Oh yeah,
uh,
we got events coming up.
yeah, got events coming up. Yeah, we got Turkey Drive coming up from our LA chapters.
Let the people know.
Yeah, we're going to we're looking for turkeys to help donate. So if you want to help donate, whether it's turkey or with finances or just coming out and helping out and being a part of it, it's anything you can do to help out. It's more, we're very grateful for it. Uh, so you can check us out on Facebook, the official page of the Brown Beret National Organization. You can hit us up there. You can email us at lacausa68 at gmail.com for more information. We'll get that out to you. We'll have our national secretary reach out to you guys and with questions or concerns or anything like that, and future events as well. Maybe one day we'll get a calendar up of events for the podcast of what we're doing out in the community, and not just what we're doing, but other organizations as well. We want to help. There's other brown beret organizations out there, and we can help them out however we can, because that's what we're about,
Most
helping out our
definitely.
people.
Yeah.
Helping out our gente. So
Right.
any way we can. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Fill it in.
there you go. I can't do it 'cause I got arthritis.
Right. I know. They were throwing gang signs. We're not.
Yeah.
No, that's not us.
Yeah.
Um, well, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your time. And this Stay Brown podcast will be every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And oh, we're still getting hearts. Oh,
Yeah.
and I love you both. We love you too, Brianna. You should have been on here though. I sent you the link. Never mind. I'll call you later. Not just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where were you at? Supposed to be on the show with us.
Yeah.
Just kidding. So
Yeah.
anyway, tune in again who's this? Thank you. And Brianna's laughing. So tune in I just said I'm repeating myself now. Tuesday,
4 p.m.
4 p.m. And for other people, that's Taco Tuesday, 4 p.m. So when you're eating your tacos, tune in.
There you
Yeah,
go.
push up for everyone else. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Let me do this right here. Ding, like and subscribe. And then that little bell right here, make sure you hit that little bell so it lets you know um, that we're about to come on. So it gives you a little reminder for those that forget, because this is still new.
Yep.
Anyway, and it helps us too. We didn't even get to the pictures. So, but we didn't get through all the pictures, but that's fine. They're in the library now, so we'll get through them. So again, thank you all, and we'll see you next time on Stay Brown Podcast. Oh wait, we got one more comment. Hold on. There you go.
Ándale pues.
Ándale pues.